I've been streaming Arknights Endfield for roughly the last 5 hours. I've been playing a little after stream, and thus far, I have been having an immense amount of fun. This is by far one of the most polished beta tests that I have ever played. And this game as a whole has been more fun than I had ever anticipated it being. There is one single issue I have with the game concerning its gacha, which I will touch on in just a little bit. I did a dedicated video on this that I posted last night if you're interested in a video that covers in explicit detail that specifically, but this game is beautiful. It has incredible characters. I know you can't see right now down the bottom left of the screen, but they're actually all displayed down here, and at present I do only have 3 characters, or 3 character slots rather, unlocked. You can have a maximum of 4 eventually. This game though, a lot of people have been drawing inspiration to Wuthering Waves. They're looking at this and they're like, this kind of reminds me of what WoWa 1.0 looked like, or this reminds me of what WoWa looks like right now, or you know what it looked like at launch in 2.0. And like I see the resemblances. It does have that dark post-apocalyptic aesthetic. It has the similar hue, saturation levels. It has that dark undertone as well. The combat is action-oriented. It isn't as fast as Wuthering Waves. It isn't as fast as Endless Zone Zero, but it does have a lot to it. You have your normal left click. You can dodge with shift or your right click. All your characters, as you can see, actually engage in combat at the exact same time as you. The window to actually do a perfect dodge is much smaller than in any game, any gacha I've played. Now you do have, or every character rather, has, oh, well, that was unfortunate. Every character has their own unique ability and their own unique ultimate ability. So you can see down the bottom right, there are 3 skills because I have 3 characters. I can click my my number 2 ability. This is Perlica's ability. I can click my number 3 ability. That is Chen's ability. Or I can click my number 1 ability. And that's hers. So every character has their own unique ability. If you hold the button, they trigger an ultimate, which deals a lot more damage, evidently. And it all looks very cool. The combat is actually surprisingly much more difficult than I had anticipated it being. This is a very difficult game, which I think is actually a pleasant surprise because I'm so used to games just being easy, you know, dodges being easy, that when I went into this and found it to be so much more complex and so much more complicated than I had given it credit for, I was taken aback. And also, there's no fall damage. The areas in this game are absolutely stunning. There are so many things out in the world to see, so many things out in the world to explore. There is no climbing. Unlike Genshin, unlike WoWa, unlike Ananta and Neverness, this is a game that does not have climbing. So you do need to find alternate routes up areas. You need to find alternate routes to get to objectives, to get to treasure chests. The world itself, since I'm running around, is at least at present, from what I can tell, seamlessly accessible. I have had people tell me in my stream that the game has no loading screen. I've had people tell me the game does in fact have loading screens that separate the world, so segregated zones. I've not played enough currently to accurately discern which is the truth and which is not. And at the end of the day, like, I do plan on having a follow-up video where I go over everything in explicit detail. This is kind of like this very surface level impressions video. Now, adding on to the abilities, every character can combo. So let me swap over to Chen here because she has more HP. So basically, if you do a full or final attack, which is a heavy attack, and you let the sequence go through, the E button will appear. The E button lets you do what is essentially a combo attack, which is a much more powerful attack that uses all of your 4 characters in unison, which I'm gonna attempt to do here if I can trigger. There's Perlica's E, and admittedly I didn't get to trigger the other characters, but that's fine. The combat is fast. It is very fluid. It might not be nearly as flashy as a game like WoWa or a game like Zenless, but it's okay because I think at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be overly flashy to be good. I think each game having a different style of combat is good. I think at the end of the day... Oh god, this guy's gonna be tough. I think at the end of the day... Okay, I gotta eliminate the ads here first. So I think at the end of the day, each game having a different style of combat, having a different feel and aesthetic, it allows for you to become enthralled, engaged, and captivated in different ways. So it doesn't, you know, this isn't just another Genshin clone. This isn't just another Wuwa clone. Oh my god! Oh, I can't do that. He is too high level. I got absolutely destroyed. Holy, but you see what I mean about difficulty? Like, he just... I can't even defend myself. That was horribly... horribly executed on my part. Now, the world, once again, it is beautiful. It is open, it is large, and has a very large focus on the base management aspect. I'm sure you recall base management from Arknights, for those of you that played. Arknights Endfield has a much more expansive base management system. System MA base so far. It is very basic, very limited. I currently have this refining unit here, which is creating which is refining ore into whatever those ore crystal things are. I have another one over here, but this one was doing the shredding unit specifically was yeah, I'm aware. No, I'm aware. Yep. No, I know. I've done this before. You don't need to tell me how to do it again. No, cool. Yeah. I was actually refining Originium powder as well. I have over here automatically generating ore for me portable Originium rigs. Now these continue to farm resources for you while you're not present, which makes your base management that much easier. You can place down numerous different objects in your base. These will aid you in everything, really. I've been told that this is also going to aid you with regards to generating a passive gacha income, like premium crystals or Orendem or whatever it's called in this specific game. We're at the very early stages of our base management right now. You can place down all these objects wherever you want, however you want, but to fully, I think to fully make use of the world, you need to place down these relay towers that are essentially connected via these cords. These allow you to access buildings, structures, things that you can't normally access because they're gated off. As you can tell here, this is connected via the relay tower over there. Now I had to place these down strategically because there is a limit to how far they can go. As you can see on screen, you can place them down 80 meters apart, which means in theory, you're gonna be placing down a lot of them. You're gonna need a lot of resources to connect these. Otherwise, you're not really gonna make any progress at all. Now, yeah, then as you can see, there are wacky inflatable arm tube guys here. Now, the story is incredible. The intro was absolutely phenomenal. I've not been introduced to a gacha game in a more impressive way than I was with Arknights Endfield. And the story has been very fun, very engaging since. There's a lot of voice acting. The voice acting is actually completely in English. You have the option of English, Japanese, Korean, or Chinese, which is really good. I appreciate that. The dubs, from what I've heard, are all phenomenal. The English dub specifically has regional dialects, which is really cool. Honestly, from what I could tell, they reused a lot of the Arknights voice actors for Arknights Endfield as well. And the Arknights dub, while unfortunately wasn't present in the main story, was really good. I'm glad to see these voice actors getting a lot of work and putting their talents into practice here, bringing these characters to life. It is absolutely incredible what they have done. And so far, like, I feel like there hasn't been a single main character out of all the characters that I've seen that has even had subpar voice acting. And currently, I've unlocked Aviwena, Perlica, Chen.
Yes.
Well, there's the administrator ourselves.
Of course. You're the boss. You point the way.
Dapan, Snowshine,
I am currently
Shai-
on standby.
Shaihi.
What is it?
Okay, I thought I was gonna say more. Wolfguard. And there are significantly more, like
My crusade is far from over.
Ember, who's just full of life and personality.
Come closer.
Gilberta, who's essentially Angelica from Arknights.
Reporting for duty.
Li Feng. Then we have the limited banner character Surtur, or
Just point the way.
in this game Levitain, who is absolutely incredible looking, just as good as she looked in Arknights. There's a lot of depth to the characters. You can level them, you can level your weapons, you can alter your weapons. Each character has
Not a problem.
skills. You can spend dupes to increase your character's power. Every character has their own class archetype. There's actually less here present than the original Arknights: guard, defender, support, caster, and specialist, which was surprising. I thought they were going to have the same classes that were in OG Arknights in Enfield as well. But I mean, this is still a good start. This is like, you know, the holy, almost a holy trinity. You have essentially DPS, you have support, and then you have tank. As noted, there is a lot of depth when it comes to characters and upgrading them. You can upgrade individual character skills. You can unlock these talent nodes, which are further advancement. You can unlock promotions, which further enhance them again. A lot of this is actually very similar to Arknights as well. There's more depth here, I think, in Arknights Endfield than probably the vast majority of gacha games out there, especially gacha games that are open world. Now, let's go ahead here and talk the gacha, because that was what my dedicated video was on yesterday. Right now, there is this banner, the exclusive headhunting banner, which has a 20% discount. You get 50 attempts, and within 50 attempts, you are guaranteed a maximum 6-star operator. You either get Ember, Gilberta, or Lifeng, which is great. There is a limited banner going on, the Scars of the Forge. The limited banner character is, of course, Surtur, or Levitain. I know I keep saying Surtur. There are two different ways of obtaining characters in this singular banner. One, you're guaranteed a character after 120 polls, which means at exactly 120, you get the limited banner character on display, so Surtur. Down the bottom right, you'll see that I have 59 attempts to get a 6-star operator. At 80 pity, you're guaranteed a max rarity character. Every 10 polls, you get a 5-star character. Now, there is a 50-50 present, but unlike Wuwa, where after your first failed 50-50, or Genshin after your first failed 50-50, you're guaranteed the character at your next 50-50, so like 160 polls or 180. In this, from what I can tell from the beta, even after your 50-50, you are not guaranteed the limited banner character. So you can fail your 50-50 once, you can fail your 50-50 again 5 times in a row, and never get Surtur. That is what I understand from the information that is available here, from the information that was available on their website. That is what all of us on stream gathered from the information that was available. As you can tell right here, it states that the 6-star limited banner character has a 50% chance only of being the limited banner character, which means you could fail 10 times in a row. And knowing my luck, I would, which means you can go 800 polls and never get Surtur or Levitain or whoever is the limited banner character. But at the same time, that is where this right here comes into play. At 120 polls, you are guaranteed the limited banner character. So even if you fail your 50-50 here after 80 polls, 40 polls later, you will definitely get whoever is on display. Additionally, as you can see down here, it does state that this guarantee applies once only, which means that hitting 120 a second time is not going to guarantee you a second Surtur. So realistically, you're guaranteed at 120 to obtain the limited banner character. You are not guaranteed to ever obtain another character ever again. After 1,000 polls, you can do 1,000, you can do 10,000 polls and fail every 50-50 forever. That is not good. I don't like having no hard pity, or hard pity at least after the 120. Because if I do 160 polls in Wuwa, I will get a character 100%. If I do another 160, I'm guaranteed to get another dupe. If I do another 160, I'm guaranteed to get another dupe. If I do 120 here, I'm guaranteed to get the limited banner character. If I do another 120, nope. Another 500, nope. Another 1,000, nope. Might not ever get another dupe ever. That is not free-to-play friendly at all. Now, what is also on free-to-play friendly, and what I also don't like about this gacha system, which I touched on in my video yesterday, is the fact that you might never make it to 120. So I don't know how many resources we're going to get by playing the game. I think it's impossible to tell at this juncture. We're only like less than 30 hours after launch. But at the current pace that I'm at, I've accumulated enough for, what, 21 polls after 5 or 6 hours? And honestly, having to save up for 120 means that you can never pull if you cannot guarantee at least 120. Because if I'm doing regular pulls and I'm making my way towards the character and I don't even notice, let's just say for example I don't know that this is a thing, or I miscalculated and I can't hit that 120, and this is where I think it is at its worst. The banner has a 120 attempt guarantee to give the featured operator. This guarantee can only trigger once and will be reset when the headhunting banner expires. The guarantee will not carry over to the subsequent headhunting banners. So if I hit 117 pulls, if I hit 119 pulls and the banner resets, all those 119 completely gone. I have to start from 0 to 120 again for the next banner. So in any other gacha game that I play, WoWow or like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail or Zenless or, you know, God knows how many other gacha games, if you hit, or if you fail your pity and you are, say, 40 or 50 pulls into the next banner and you're 10, 20, if you're 3 pulls away, you know at that third pull, if you just wait until the banner kicks over to the next one, within 3 pulls, 3 singular pulls, you will hit pity and you will obtain the limited banner character because that carries over. Now, down here, with the normal banner, the 80 pulls, the 50-50, it does carry over. Pity does carry over between banners, but the guarantee does not. So you're not guaranteed to get the limited banner character. You're not guaranteed to get the next limited banner character with this guarantee if you do not hit 120. I think that is very free-to-play friendly, and I think that is definitely something that needs to be changed, because that cannot be in the final version of the game. What we need, what just should be done, is give us that 120 guarantee. Just give it to us one time. That's it. Or and give it to us, but also allow for it to transition over with the banner as well. So if we get it one time, and I do it for Surtur, and I hit like 83 pulls with Surtur, and whoever comes out next releases within, what did I say, like 84 pulls? So within 36 pulls, I will get, with a guarantee, the next character. That would work. That would work fantastic. And that would be free-to-play friendly for us as free-to-play players. That is something that desperately needs to be done. But that's just a gacha. Outside of the gacha, everything in this game so far has been overwhelmingly enjoyable. The base management, the crafting system, which you could do. You can craft healing potions. You can actually craft the objects that you place down around the world. The combat, the character models, the voice acting, the story. So much of this game is just so good. I cannot put into words how enjoyable this has been for me. How difficult and challenging the combat has been. How fun and engaging the world has been to actually participate in. How just running around the world, seeing a random, what seems to be a tacet field or like a scar, a little fracture in the earth, and then having things jump out, attack you, having puzzles to solve, the uniqueness of all the characters, the combo system, having your characters actually all be in battle at the same time, that threw me off. Honestly, I think that is probably one of the coolest aspects of the game. Seeing all your characters fighting, right? If you think about it, in Wuthering Waves, in Genshin Impact, in any game really, your party members wouldn't be standing around watching you fight one by one. They would all be fighting at the same time, all participating together. And that is what Arknights Endfield allows for you to do. And it is really cool. At the end of the day, like for a beta test, because that is what this is. At the end of the day, this is a beta test, which means that a lot of gameplay mechanics, gameplay features, areas of the game in general are subject to change significantly. We are to provide feedback to hopefully better the game, better the chances of the game's success. That is the purpose of a test phase. That is why we are playing it. Not to enjoy the game. We're here to see what it does right and see what it does wrong. That way, we can provide sufficient feedback where they can alter the game to make it better. Right? That is why we have to say no. The gacha is not good. The gacha needs to be changed. So when they do release it, the gacha is acceptable, the gacha is good, and the gacha is free-to-play friendly. The beta test has been a monumental success for me. I've had more fun in this than any other test phase I've played probably in the last half a year or more. I think that for a test phase, this is easily an 8, maybe a 9 out of 10. I think the game has shown a lot of uniqueness, and I think overall, this is probably one of my two most anticipated upcoming gacha games. This and Ananta. If Ananta is as good as it looks, then these two games are going to absolutely redefine gacha, because this is something new. This is something fun. This is something enjoyable. Ananta will be too. These are games that are not Genshin Impact clones. They are not Wuthering Waves clones. They are their own games that do their own things, and I think they're better for it. Now, that is just my thoughts after 5 or 6 hours of playing. They will no doubt change between now and when the beta ends. I'll have updated videos on this as I progress through it. I'll also be streaming this every single day for the next several days for those of you that want to go ahead and join me and participate and consume everything I am. This is a fantastic game so far, and if they fix the gacha, this is going to be a breakout hit. Maybe the breakout hit of 2025. Hey, where do you think you're going? I see what you're doing there. I see you navigating on over, scrolling on over to that X button. Don't you dare. What I need you to do is take a moment and click one of the videos that are about to appear as soon as I'm done talking. And trust me, you're gonna want it.